Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bozard Ford Studio for the St. Johns County show that is on in the morning. We have garbage fees on the rise.
No!
Maybe. 3 books restricted in county schools. Pre-gaming for hurricane season, the county is giving away sandbags and Marineland. Welcomes 4 new residents to their waters.
They're giving away Marineland?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get to all that and more, but first we want to thank Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and a commitment to doing things the right way. Proudly serving St. Augustine and beyond for over 75 years, Bozard offers award-winning service, unbeatable selection, and a state-of-the-art facility with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance, and even Ford's Garage restaurant right there on site. Go have a Jiffy Burger. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Awards, Bozard Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence. Great pricing, friendly faces, and a better buying experience are just off I-95 and State Road 16. Bozard Ford Lincoln, they are driven to inspire. Also, a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors: Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy Houses. Support all of our wonderful sponsors and support us with your likes, comments, and shares. You can find us on YouTube, help us get to that 1,000 subscriber goal. You can also follow us on Rumble. Facebook stars are another way you can show support. And our app is back and better than ever in the Apple App Store. Download it today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
We are humping away on this Wednesday.
Where's HR again?
Isn't that what you say? That's not a thing?
Something.
Okay.
Something.
Blake,
how you doing today?
Gotta get my zipper properly if I'm saying those things.
Yes, your zipper's totally fine.
No clavicle while you're telling everybody you're humping away.
No clavicle
No
today.
shame. I mean, we need to help the ratings a little bit.
You better than me.
Yeah.
Blake, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right today.
Yeah?
Yep,
You had a little bit of a tumble yesterday.
I did.
How you doing?
My left chest is a little bit sore today from landing on the parking block.
Yeah.
Tripping up on it, and then
Walking's hard.
yes, indeed, it's
I
hard.
almost fell yesterday too.
It is indeed hard while you're being distracted by looking at Twitter, then tripping up on the parking.
Oh, so it
block.
was your fault.
It was that.
Yes.
Oh man, can we get the
we-
surveillance camera
We
footage of that?
didn't hear that portion of the
did not.
story at the beginning.
We did not hear
We
that.
just heard you took a tumble. We're like, now we're like, pfft. You're like
feel
every Flagler student walking across an intersection.
I fell yesterday too.
Hey.
What was about yesterday?
But at least I respect the intersection. At least I respect that King Street intersection. At least I wave to people like, thank you.
Yeah, you give the wave across.
Yeah,
so
I
you
have
almost
to.
fell too.
Yeah. So I was home. Louis needed lunch. He had forgotten to pack some lunch. So I was being the good little wife and like making a care package to drop off to work for him. And my dog laid down behind me. We have a little storage closet.
Uh-huh.
I went in there and my dog lays down behind me. I don't have a small dog. I have a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
And
You have a small horse.
yes. And she normally just like stands there right behind me. And I'm used to that. She lays down. I take a step back out of the closet, like blindly. I reach in, grab something, take a step back, and there's something under my foot, and it's her.
Mm-hmm.
Take another step to try and not put my weight on her foot. So I like do that hop step thing, and she's there again.
She's still there.
Yes, because she's
that big.
huge.
Yeah.
And so I did the whole like stumble, spin out thing. I didn't break her.
Ninja moves.
I didn't break myself. My kids were so freaked out by what just happened that they ran up and gave me a hug. Well, I mean, it ended up being a sweet moment, but yeah, I
But
definitely.
she just looked at you like, what? I was here the whole time.
I know. She was like, "Are you okay? I can come closer and like comfort you.
You need me to hug you?
Some space."
Yeah. See, our chili dog, who's like a Kelpie, who's also a herding dog. Blue's older, understands space, and like still herds and stays with you the whole time. But Chili's just like, she'll run through your legs as you're walking into the living room. And so we almost trip every single day with Chili. But no, Blake took a tumble in the parking lot. So
I didn't know it was a Twitter tumble.
sorry about
Blake.
that, guys. Yeah, no, he didn't tell us that portion of it. So
just that he stumbled, which was understandable and relatable. And now I just feel bad because we're gonna razz you all day.
Was there anyone who actually witnessed it, Blake? Because that's part of the worst part is that moment of getting up and like looking around, and there's always somebody.
Thankfully, no. Like so.
Oh, there was somebody. You just didn't see it.
No. I surprisingly, from what I saw, no. I was very lucky because I was picking up food for my mom and myself, and she was in the car, but she was also on like Instagram when.
So she didn't see it either.
She didn't see it.
Okay.
Either.
So can we seriously? I want to get surveillance camera footage of this. I bet it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So you got to call Wingstop.
I know.
Yeah, well, they're not going to give it up because they're going to think, oh, he's going to sue us. So
can we sign a release?
I don't know.
We're media. We just want to for media purposes.
Yeah. Patrick, please. I'll definitely sign a release. We just want that surveillance cam.
Add it to the intro.
Yeah. No. Yeah, just keep what is it, boomeranging it.
That'd be awesome. Do we have a question of the day?
All right, question of the day is: have you ever fallen in a park? No. Which children's TV show do you wish was never created? I mean, there's a lot to choose from here. There's a lot to unpack on this one.
Oh yeah.
So I want everyone to take a deep breath and then answer.
I'm going vintage. Barney. That freaking theme song and that purple dinosaur.
He's definitely in my top 3.
I was just starting to age out of like the Saturday morning, like super cheesy kid content when he came out. So I was like too cool for it anyway. I was too big for that. But just that song followed us everywhere. I had a very so cool childhood. We were at a Star Trek convention and there's freaking Barney at a Star Trek convention.
Oh my gosh.
I was so annoyed. It followed me everywhere. Horrible. And my favorite color is purple. And so that made it even worse because it was like it's sullied purple. So that's probably the one that I have the most visceral reaction to is Barney the dinosaur. Can't stand it. But as a parent, if it was really obnoxious, we just lost that channel. Weird.
Yeah.
Can't get that back. Sorry.
So it just never ever comes back.
Yeah. Baby Shark is de facto banned in my house.
Okay.
That's not a show.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many to choose from on this one. I mean, Barney's a great answer. Blake, what do you have for your answer?
You're a little younger than me. You might have liked Barney.
Yeah. He never did.
So I never really liked Barney anyway.
Yeah. I was already creeped out by Barney, so it wasn't happening in the house.
No. I personally didn't like Caillou.
Yeah. That bald kid.
Yes, the bald Canadian kid that just acts like a brat all the time. Yeah. It's just like and he even never really got like any consequences for his actions. It's like, dude, you gotta have some punishment once in a while for treating everyone you know like crap.
Blake wants Caillou to get a beat down.
Yeah, take one across the chops.
I found Caillou relatively non-offensive, and so it would come on in our house. But if we had a play date or something, almost every time parents would hop up and immediately change my channel to get Caillou off because they didn't want to watch it. Yeah. I had no idea there was a whole lot of Caillou hate out there.
Yeah. There is.
But
it's not nice.
Yeah, no, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
he's not a good kid. All right, Diana, don't go on the Captain Kangaroo. She nailed it. She nailed it with the Teletubbies, which is mine. Teletubbies to me was the most ridiculous of all the shows that were out there. But I mean, like I said, there was so many to choose from on this one. Now probably the one no one I don't even know if it's on anymore is Little Bill.
Little Bill.
Yeah.
I don't even know Little
Bill Cosby.
Oh. That's right. I think they've scrubbed the internet of almost
all. I think they scrubbed it, right?
All of Bill Cosby stuff.
So,
that's right.
Lamb Chop. Oh gosh, that was awful. Yeah.
That groundswell art installation thing, did that give you a little bit of a twitch? Because it looked like the Teletubbies house.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either.
Not a fan.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Poor
So-
Caillou. He's getting reamed in the comments.
Caillou, hey, don't blame him because he's bald there, Rebecca.
There are good bald people.
Yeah. I know at least one.
At least one.
So
Yeah. So yeah, did you do the same thing where you just that's not getting
no, we
played
just
in my
didn't watch
house?
it. Yeah, we didn't
it's
watch
just-
it. I mean that's kind of
Veto button's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that.
no. It really. I mean, you have all power over that, so you just
Oh, yeah.
didn't. Yeah, you just didn't watch it. Teletubbies never were on our TV.
We noped out of the Disney live action remakes
Mhm.
because I was like, I already bought. They already got my money. I bought
Mhm.
all the movies.
Yeah.
I'm not buying another set of movies. Like we're done. And the real big hard line for me was the Beauty and the Beast remake because I'm sorry, I find Emma Watson really irritating.
Mm,
And I just
really?
like her voice, her mannerisms, I just find her really
Is
irritating.
that Hermione?
Yeah, Hermione.
Okay.
Which I think
She
fit.
turned into be hot.
That's not what I'm grading her on. She's just has this sort of grating, irritating. I didn't watch the Little Women remake either because she was in it. I don't like Emma Watson. I just don't. And so my brother-in-law was pushing hard for, you have to watch Beauty and the Beast remake. And I'm like, I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not gonna introduce this to my house and then have to watch it on repeat for 3 months because that's the new movie my kids can't live without. Like, I'm not doing that to myself.
Yeah.
And he couldn't understand why I would deny them this cultural moment. Like, for my sanity. This is for
You just
my
don't-
mental health.
She's your Tom Cruise.
I can't do it. Yeah, I can't
She's
do
your
it.
Tom Cruise. Huh?
She's
Okay,
probably my
no.
female Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So, but I mean, I liked her in where she played Sherlock's sister.
Okay.
So I liked her in those. I don't really know her in too much other stuff, but
Yeah.
no, she grew up pretty hot.
Yeah.
So HR Puffin stuff. Now that's going back there, Bobby. So have you either one of you guys? Because you guys are too young, I think, for this one. Do you know?
I've
HR
heard
Puffin
the
stuff?
name HR Puffin stuff, but I can't picture.
Yeah, it's Jimmy and the Magical Flute, and then they had some talking trees, and it was kind of a whoever wrote it was
Very
I think it was
trippy.
Crosby who wrote it, and he was pretty whacked out in the 70s.
Yeah.
So HR Puffin stuff was pretty weird. And Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he lived in the little tree fort out back.
Do you remember the Snorks?
Snorks.
They were these
It
blue
sounds familiar.
aquatic. It was like aquatic Smurf. Smurfs. Yeah.
Okay.
But they had these like snorkel things.
Oh
on the top
yeah,
of their
I
head.
did. I did
Yeah.
see that. So I was just kind of always concerned why there was only one Smurfette.
Yeah,
That was weird.
it's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a breeding
was weird.
strategy for
Yeah.
lots of non-human animals.
It was weird. Just saying.
Yeah,
So
that poor girl.
yeah.
Now it's time for a quick check of the weather.
All right. Today is mostly sunny, a high of 88, low of 74. Kind of a nice June day, actually.
Ooh, we like that. That quick check of the weather is brought to you by Bin 39. Discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets, Bin 39, tucked inside St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street. With over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker. It's the perfect spot for a romantic date night or a relaxing after work unwind. Sit by the glass or the bottle in a serene courtyard setting and enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday, open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Bin 39, your taste to discover. Now it's time to buckle up, baby. Hit the Blake's traffic report.
Traffic.
Yep.
All right.
More cars on the road today.
Moving pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So
A lot of trucks.
yeah,
Yeah,
there definitely is a lot of trucks. This is I-95 at south, looking westbound, actually southbound at the 298 at the 298 exit down south near the county borders. But it looks like there's a lot of trucks possibly going to Daytona.
There goes your Amazon packages, everybody.
Indeed.
All right, climb aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including iconic landmarks like the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it's the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program. Just sign up today at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine, one stop at a time. Sliding into the news, we've got 3 books restricted at St. Johns County School Board meeting on Tuesday. The St. Johns County School Board is imposing new restrictions on several books following a heated debate among parents and educators. Board members voted to remove 2 titles, Check and Mate and Monday's Not Coming, from middle school libraries, restricting access to grades 9 through 12 with parental permission required to check them out. Another book, There's Someone Inside Your House, has been limited to high school seniors only, also with parental consent. Reactions from the public were in fact mixed. Parent Carol Garanskas raised concerns about restricting access for older students, saying, "My son is 18 in the 11th grade, so now you're saying a grown adult is restricted from reading a book of his choice?" But others supported the restrictions. Parent Jean Moore argued that one of the books includes a serial killer slashing people described in detail, and compared the content to an R-rated film, saying it was not appropriate for the school setting. Beyond the books themselves, some parents challenged the board's overall process for reviewing library materials. Moore accused the board of avoiding accountability, saying this board and district administration has refused to create clear standards and guidelines as to what is considered acceptable and age appropriate. In response, the board announced plans for a workshop session before the new school year to evaluate its procedures. Topics for discussion includes a potential permission slip system and possibly adopting a movie-style rating system for books. But board chair Anthony Coleman urged caution, noting that many students already access similar content outside of school. Quote, "Our media specialists are the professionals, and if they are doing it correctly, it will already be worked out in itself." All right, what are our thoughts on restricting access to books that contain arguably adult content?
Well, I mean, and it comes down to the parent. I'm sorry. Yep. You still can, if parents, if you're upset about this, then you can give them approval to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they structured it, is the way it sounds like to me.
Yep.
And there's certain things that, 9-year-olds to 12-year-olds shouldn't necessarily be seeing it, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're a parent and you feel like your kids should see that, you can say, okay, I want my kid to be able to see that. And I think the way that they're handling that is, I mean, I'm a big First Amendment guy, but when it comes to kids, our job is to make sure they get to that adulthood. And I'm sorry, if he's still in 11th grade, he's not an adult. Okay.
There are exceptions.
Yeah, there are exceptions. I mean, there's a chronological adult, and then there's an adult.
But also,
so if he's in 11th grade or she's in 11th grade, not an adult.
The exception can't be, we can't use the exceptions to create the rule, right?
Yeah.
It's a rare case that you have an 18-year-old that's in 11th grade, so you can't.
And if you really want to see the book, there is access all over the world right now. It's not like when I was growing up, the libraries where you got the book, there wasn't Barnes and Noble on every corner.
Yeah.
We had a local bookstore that had like 12 books, and some of them, didn't even have, crayons with them. So, sorry, Deland. But it sounds the way they have it structured. If the kids really want to have access to it, the parents have to say, yeah, go ahead and let them have it. And if the parents are feeling that strongly about it, just let them have it. So they've given you an avenue to, give the kids the access.
Exactly. I think the thing that gets lost in all these discussions, because we hear banned books and we as Americans get our hankles all up, but these are school libraries. We're just talking about school library. The books haven't been banned in the entire state. It's just a matter of whether we want our tax dollars to fund a book being handed to a kindergartner that probably shouldn't be handed to someone under the age of 13, 14, 18, whatever. So that's the discussion. It's not eliminating the access to this book in our county, it's taking it out of school libraries or restricting it to certain age groups in school libraries and requiring there to be a conversation with the parent, which as a parent, I appreciate. I don't want content just handed to my kids without a conversation. And the idea that, well, this stuff exists on the internet, so, what are we going to do? We can still restrict it from my tax dollars funding it. Just because it exists there's a lot of stuff that exists on the internet. That doesn't mean I want a government employee to hand it to my child in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So that's not the best argument, in my opinion. And that argument kind of gives me the ick, as the kids would say.
I think they got a good balance going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very fine line you got to walk.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, Tony Coleman's a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good man, and I trust him and Bev and the rest of the board to do the right thing there. But it's a fine line. It's a fine line you have to walk right there, because I mean, like I said, I'm a huge First Amendment guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? The parents have to be involved. The parents have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
If you want them to see it, then you have to agree to allow them to see it. So
yeah,
I think
that's a good balance.
I like the movie rating thing. And there's movies you got to be over 17 to see these movies. So even though you can see everything on the internet.
Yeah.
So
we tried to see. I think it was the Chris Kyle story or the Marcus Luttrell movie. I think it was Lone Survivor. And it's a rated R movie, obviously. And I had a newborn who had ear protection, so didn't hear any of the noise in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And, this kid was asleep. It was a late movie. So the kid was asleep, wasn't going to wake up. Had I would have left. They wouldn't let me in because it was a rated R movie. And that was a minor. I'm like, it's an asleep minor. And I'm here as the parent. They wouldn't sell me the ticket for the movie. So, I mean, it's kind of wild.
That's pretty wild.
We had to cancel that date night, get a babysitter.
Was it here in town?
Yeah, it was here in town. It was epic. They wouldn't sell me the ticket because it was a rated R movie and that was a child. And they did
I thought you could take your children.
They didn't give me discretion on it. They didn't let me have discretion. They refused to sell the ticket.
I mean, rated R movies, you if you're accompanied by a parent, you can go in.
That's what I thought too. But evidently not.
I think that new kid there kind of got things a little messed up. So.
Maybe, but I definitely got kicked out of that theater. But it was one of those, like, I had a child that was nursing, and the movie was going to be like 2.5 hours. The likelihood that she was going to wake up was low, but she wouldn't take a bottle, so I'm bringing her with me.
Yeah,
and I can feed her in the back.
I think that's pretty ridiculous there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so possibly because like I think like Epic has like a rule like if like a kid's under 6, then maybe you can't bring in a kid after that point. But definitely like after.
But I guess they have the right to
they have the right
service.
To refuse.
Yeah, they have the right to refuse.
Yeah.
And I was refused. But just that exception doesn't mean that I think we should change the rule.
No, I gotcha.
All right. St. Johns County is giving away 14,500 free sandbags. Where, when, and how to get them. With hurricane season underway, St. Johns County is stepping up preparedness efforts by giving away thousands of free sandbags to residents. A total of 14,500 pre-filled bags will be distributed.
Pre-filled?
Pre-filled. They will be distributed across 6 locations over a 3-day period. So take your notes, get out a pencil and paper. We've got Tuesday, June 24th at Butler Park West, 399 Riverside Boulevard, St. Augustine, and Smith Road Storage Facility at 8200 Smith Road in Hastings. On Wednesday, June 25th, we've got Solomon Calhoun Community Center, 1300 Duval Street, St. Augustine, and Volano Beach Boat Ramp, 101 Volano Causeway, St. Augustine. And then Thursday, June 26th, Mills Field, 1805 Racetrack Road, St. John's, Palm Valley Bridge, South Roscoe Boulevard side, under the east side of the Intercoastal Waterway. So those are your locations. Those are your dates. Sandbags will be available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at each of these locations. Each vehicle will be limited to 12 sandbags And you must have a proof of residency, such as a driver's license or recent mail. This is required in order to collect the bags. County officials are urging residents to follow the guidelines so everyone has a chance to prepare. A statement from the county reads, "Please be considerate of your neighbors and adhere to the 12 sandbag limit so that this limited resource can benefit as many residents as possible." St. Johns County staff will be on site to assist those in need during the distribution.
Yeah, the pre-filled is a huge
That's
factor.
amazing.
That's a huge factor. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because our church is downtown. It has a basement. Flooding is a real issue during storms. And so we'll get a load of sand and sandbags and then have parishioners. There's just an all call for parishioners, and we all get to fill up sandbags.
Joy just asked if they ask you to bring your own shovel. It sounds like they're already filled.
They're filled, Joy.
Yeah.
You don't have to
sounds like
bring
they're already filled. So,
any equipment, just ID.
Normally that is the case. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need proof of residency, and you get 12 bags per car.
And Blake did list all the locations.
Thank you, Blake.
Well, I'm a little upset. I wanted to make sure I got mine first.
You're so helpful, Blake. We appreciate that.
Now you're the one going to get them.
There you go. What?
Volunteers tribute.
Just watch your step.
He's injured. He fell. You can't make it.
He's 24. He can take one fall. I almost fall every single day. I'm almost 60, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Gas Buddy Gas Report. Tell us in the comments what gas prices are looking like in your area. We've got Sunoco at $21.99, North Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.94. Shell on 146 King Street is at $2.95. Circle K at US 1 North is $2.95. A1A Discount Beverage, $2.99. There's a lot that are $2.99. Yeah. We've got Shell at North Ponce de Leon Boulevard. We've got Owens on South Ponce. We've got Sunoco on South Ponce. Mobile and Circle K on South Ponce. These are all $2.99. So is the Shell at 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. Then Circle K at 207 is at $3.09.
Boo.
Yeah, no good. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds brings us that Gas Buddy Gas Report. Trouble with the law? Call the name St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it most. When time matters, remember the name and the number. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245. Got live music today. Jim Lamb starts our list off at Milltop Tavern at 12 p.m. Smokin' Joe Showers at Tradewinds Lounge, 1 o'clock. TJ Brown's at Pierre's Pub at 1 o'clock. Jim Johnston's at Catch 27, starting the 5 o'clock hour. Benny Jacobs is at Guy Harvey Resort, also 5. Chubby McGee is at Tide's Oyster Company and Grill, still at 5. Mark Hart, Tradewinds Lounge, is 5 o'clock there. Damon Slaughter is at O.C. White's, closing out the 5 o'clock hour. Dewey Vaya is at Ann O'Malley's Deli and Pub, 6 p.m. Caleb Joy's at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill, also 6 p.m. Alana Sophia's at Pierre's Pub at 6 p.m., but so is Julie Papile.
They might be duo.
Yeah, they're probably playing together. Colin Costco's at Salt Life Food Shack, 6 p.m. Soul Fires at St. Johns County Ocean Pier at 7 p.m. And Thievery Corporation is at St. Augustine Amphitheater at 7 o'clock.
Thievery Corporation.
Thievery Corporation. Thievery.
Okay.
Zip up all your bags.
Is that in the main?
Corporation.
Is that the main stage? I've never heard of these guys.
Huh?
You guys give me some clues.
There they are in the picture.
Yeah.
They exist.
Okay.
That music report is brought to you by Fidus
So out of
Roofing.
touch.
When it comes to protecting your home, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction. Voted best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. As a GAF Master Elite contractor, Fidus installs the GAF Lifetime Roofing System and expert metal roofs built to last. Built to withstand Florida's toughest weather, from emergency repairs to full replacements, plus pavers and gutters, Fidus delivers quality, durability, and energy savings with every job. This summer, Fidus is proud to support the Big Summer Fun Scramble on Friday, June 27th at the Golf Club at Southampton, benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of St. Johns County. Tee off for a great cause with breakfast, lunch, raffles, contests, and more. Sign up today at bbbsgolftournament.com for Fidus Roofing. Call 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663. Fidus Roofing, where trust is built from the top down. I thought we should take a moment and tap into the trends, Troy. What are people doing this summer?
All right, so trends. So I looked up a list of what people wanted to get accomplished this summer, and I just did the top 5.
Yeah.
On this list, there's not many that make my list.
Okay.
All right,
This
but I can
list
see
isn't
this
for
being
you.
a young millennial list. It's not a Gen Xer list, in my
You're
opinion.
taking the pulse of your co-host.
Yes. So I'm going with the young millennial list.
All right.
At number 5, and because I have zero talent in this, is make music.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I love music.
Yeah.
But I have zero skills.
Yeah.
So making music probably is an insult to music if I do that.
So you're probably going to opt out of this one?
This one is probably a hard no for me, unless
Yeah.
we're talking about mixtapes, and I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore, and that's sad. We definitely encourage our kids to go through. We have some online music lessons, and we really focus on it in the summer because we have more time to do so. So I could see that. I mean,
Making music.
making music, it makes my list.
Okay. Number 4 is attend crafters workshop.
All right.
Attend a crafters workshop.
A crafter's workshop.
I'm not really sure what a crafters workshop looks
Would you
like.
do like some leather work? Would you make like
yeah,
leather
no,
bags?
I mean that's what I'm saying there. I think there's certain levels of this one
Yeah.
I could get behind.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like if I was making a belt,
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Or
What about,
a
like,
wallet. You know?
Would you do stained glass?
Nah,
There's
maybe
heat
the
and
heat and the
soldering
melting and
and cutting sharp things?
maybe.
Yeah.
So I could see this one being on my list.
Okay.
So
So far, I am 10 for 10.
you're different. You're
All right.
you're nailing this one.
Yeah.
Make your own pottery.
So I know why. I know why. Because Reels and TikToks and, those little short hit videos.
Uh-huh.
And I've gotten down this rabbit hole, and I now follow a few ceramicists because it is really mesmerizing to watch pottery being made on these little short form
this is the
content
difference
reels.
between the generations.
I
right
know.
there.
But it's so interesting. Like the chemistry, the firing process of what glazes look like in the wet stage before they're fired and they have that chemical reaction
Yeah.
is really interesting. So trying to predict the color it's going to be after it's fired is kind of cool. But also like slip casting videos. This is so dorky. But I've gotten really into slip casting videos because it's just this like plaster mold and you pour the liquid clay in it and dump it out after a period of time and then you have a cute little statue.
See, when I read this,
Mm-hmm.
I go immediately to Demi Moore,
And Ghost.
And if Patrick Swayze puts his arms around me, I'm into it.
You're
You know,
in,
I'm
yeah.
okay. I'm okay with
mean-
that. Doesn't make me a bad person. But I mean, I could see when I watch people do this and then they mess up and they just go smash
It. Yeah.
That's the part I think I would enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lady out of, I think it's Australia or New Zealand. I think it's Australia that does smash or cast. And she just has bought people's collection of slip casting molds. And so you can't exactly tell what it's going to be, maybe when you look at it just as a mold. So she'll pour it and she'll demold it and then kind of decide whether she likes it or not. And if she likes it, then she does it again. If she's not, she smashes it. And it's so funny.
Gone forever.
It makes the funniest sound when it smashes.
Well, and I had somebody, and pottery must be like on an uptick or something
I think
like that.
so.
I had somebody who's actually requested to be in our building. The buildings I have are like over 100 years old.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm sorry, those don't really match. Kilns and 100-year-old buildings.
It's not even that.
Like these buildings survived the big fires of St. Augustine.
The amount of dust.
I'm not gonna try and.
The amount of dust that you would have to get out of the floor and the ventilation system.
I was a hard no on it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It
can
sounds
understand.
super fun. Wish you the best, but not in my building. So, all right. Get some new dance moves. It's
Yes.
number 2.
I fully blame TikTok.
Get some new dance moves.
You can 100% blame that on TikTok.
It's gotta
be a
TikTok thing.
It's definitely 100% a TikTok thing.
Although I'll admit, I did have the thought when I was going to Cheese Wheel, like, oh, I should sign Louie and I up for ballroom dancing lessons as like a fun reconnect date night thing. We've talked about it off and on in our marriage, and we've gone so far as to get the information, but never like pulled the trigger on actually booking the class. So I'll admit I did have that thought this summer.
So you're 4 for 4 so far.
I know.
I think the last one you're definitely in.
Yep.
Which is number 1. Learn to paint while sipping.
Yes.
So you know, Irving brought in some amazing wines a couple weeks ago. I could actually this one I can go get along with here. I'm not really a I mean I draw. I have very Picasso skills. Not intending to have Picasso skills.
Could we talk to Irving about having a paint with an Irving glass of wine?
Irving
at Ben 39.
Oh, I bet we probably could.
That courtyard would be really cool for art lessons with music and wine. Irving, let's do this.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. So, yeah, no, this one I can get behind. I mean, and that's ranked number 1 of trends people want to do this summer.
I have a standing date with a friend where I leave the show and I go home and she and I watch a lesson from an art historian and a painter. And then we
you
paint.
You are this list.
100% this list.
You are this list.
Which is why I know.
This is a millennial list.
Yeah.
I randomly picked this list and had no idea. You are every single one of them on this list.
100% diagnosed my thoughts for this summer.
I have your entire summer written right here on the table.
Yeah. So I've skipped past the midlife crisis and I've landed squarely in the granny hobbies. And I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
I'm really embracing it. Well, that's our little check of the trends today. We've got garbage fees maybe on the rise in St. Johns County. St. Johns County residents could soon see higher costs for garbage and recycling services. On Tuesday, the county commission approved a move allowing officials to notify residents about a potential rate hike. Formal approval could come at a public meeting on August 5th. Mark your calendars if you want to speak about this. Right now, homeowners pay $254 per year for solid waste services. If approved, that fee would raise by $80 this year, bringing the total to $334 and would appear on property tax bills. Public Works Director Greg Caldwell said the increase is necessary to bring the county's solid waste fund back into good standing due to rising service costs. Compared to neighboring areas, St. Johns County would still be in the middle of the pack with this raise. The residents would pay less than those in Jacksonville and Palm Coast, but more than in Putnam County. This would be the first step in a larger plan to gradually increase fees by over $200 over the course of 5 years. After the $80 bump this year, another $60 hike would be planned for 2027, with an additional increase until the fee reaches $454 annually by 2030. Residents will be notified by mail ahead of the August meeting, where commissioners will vote on the proposed changes. Troy, how do you feel about this?
Greg, you're my buddy, man. Me and Greg go back a long, long way. Here's what I want you to do. Get rid of the recycling, all right? If they want to recycle, have them take it to you and get rid of that and keep the costs down. It's going to save taxpayers. It's going to make more sense. Stop sending those big-ass trucks out on the road to pick up plastic that is worth 1/1,000,000th of the cost of what you're doing, and the return is about the same of 1/1,000,000th. All right? If they want to recycle, give them a recycle space to drop off and save the taxpayers all this money. 300,000 taxpayers, and it's wasteful. It's just wasteful. So.
I think people have this impression that their recycling goes to something where it's actively turned into something better and they're saving the planet by doing so. The reality is that these materials they're not being cleaned properly. They're not being processed properly by the person throwing it in the bin. So then it costs so much to get it to the point that it can become raw materials to even be used again. It's not cost effective.
It's the biggest government hoax we've had in the last 30 years. And if you go back and you look at the results of it, and Lenny tells me, oh, well, we were making money in No, you weren't. You weren't making money in New York. I can tell you the math doesn't math. You would never run your business that way. And
especially not if Union's picking it up.
No, it
not in New York.
Absolutely not. And I mean, it doesn't even pay for the fuel of the trucks to go out and get it. Not even the fuel.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not talking about the labor cost, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about the maintenance costs on the trucks, which is huge.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the trucks themselves, which is even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the one thing you don't want to raise. You don't want to raise taxes, which this is a tax. You can call it a fee if you want, but it's a service that we don't need. Get rid of the recycling. Make them go to a center. City of St. Augustine Beach has done it, and I think the rest everybody else can do it too.
I had a very eye-opening experience as I worked for the winery, and customers were constantly bringing their bottles back to us and asking us if we could recycle these bottles, if we could reuse them, if we could recycle them. The machine to accept bottles that have potentially been contaminated, properly clean them, that wasn't cost effective for being a smaller winery. So that wasn't worth it to us to be able to do that. It would have taken, I think the math on it was like 45 years of recycling bottles if everyone brought them back to even take a dent out of, the cost of the machine. So like that wasn't going to happen. So I start calling around for recycling companies, and company after company let me know that there was just no benefit. There was no profit to them. They would be losing money to try and maneuver their vehicle. It's not even deep into downtown, but just to maneuver their vehicle into our parking lot, which trolleys go in and out of all the time, it wasn't worth it to them. And I think I found one company that did it for a while, but then they bailed on it because glass recycling.
They went out of business.
Yeah. Glass recycling is not a profitable industry. It just isn't. And I know that there's organizations now that collect them and they turn it into sand. And by all means, if you can make that work, perfect.
Yeah, it's great. But you'll change your business plan in 3 years.
Just blanketly having the program when there's no benefit to the environment and there's no benefit to the taxpayer, just so we don't have to explain to people that it's been kind of a scam.
Yeah.
Just have the hard conversation.
It's not kind of a scam. It's been a scam for decades.
Was couching to be nice.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. It's the biggest waste we have in our government, and we continue to do it. We know it's a waste, and we continue to do it, and no one's doing anything about it, and it's ridiculous. So stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Greg, I love you still. So
we do love you, Greg. We love everyone that we've quoted today.
Yeah.
We just might not agree with everything that they said.
Yeah.
All right, we've got exciting news. Marineland Dolphin Adventure and Dolphin Connection receive a total of 7 bottlenose dolphins between the two parks from Gulf World Marine Park. The Dolphin Company has officially completed the relocation of 7 bottlenose dolphins following the recent closure of Gulf World Marine Park in Panama City Beach. On May 20th, the Dolphin Company announced the park's permanent closure, stating the dolphins would be moved to as safely and as swiftly as possible. That move is now complete. On June 10th, 4 dolphins, Sandy, Soleil, Capri, and Comet, were transferred to Marineland Dolphin Adventure in St. Augustine. The next day, Luna, Cajun, and Striker arrived at Dolphin Connection in Duck Key. The company says all 7 dolphins are doing well, actively eating, acclimating, and being monitored and trained under the care of TDC's Florida team and a newly appointed animal welfare consultant. This transition comes during a period of corporate change at the Dolphin Company, which is working through a Chapter 11 restructuring. The company recently named Stephen Strom as independent director and Robert Wagstaff as chief restructuring officer, highlighting a renewed focus on animal welfare, employee safety, and financial recovery. The Dolphin Company acquired both the Dolphin Connection and Marineland Dolphin Adventure in recent years and says it remains committed to providing a safe and enriching environment for its animals. More information and updates can be found on marineland.net and dolphinconnection.com. Gulf World I was born in Panama City, so I spent a lot of time in Gulf World. It makes me sad that the park ended as it did. Given what's happened, I'm glad that it shut down. There were rough-toothed dolphins at Gulf World as well that made their way to Clearwater.
Okay.
And so those animals, Clearwater already had rough-toothed dolphins that had been stranded.
What's the difference between a rough tooth and a bottlenose?
They look different. So bottlenose dolphin is your classic flipper.
Okay.
Rough tooth, they have less of a bulbous melon, so their face is more kind of
more
missile shaped.
Elongated.
They're darker dolphins. Size-wise, I'm not sure, but they are another species of dolphin. So they're not a common dolphin that you see in captivities.
When we think of dolphins, we normally think of bottlenose.
Yeah, that's what you think of. Yeah. So a rough-toothed dolphin isn't going to be the picture in your head of a dolphin, but they are really cool animals. We've got pictures here. Yeah. So common dolphins are pretty cool. I've seen common dolphins when I was in Marine Mammal Bio. We had to do an autopsy on one that had washed ashore by Montauk Point. So where's the rough tooth? Yeah, so darker, flatter head, got smaller dorsal fin in proportion to your bottlenose dolphin.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that's the darkness, and it's got the white belly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then there's your bottlenose. So that's your flipper.
Good graphic, Blake.
Yeah. Perfect.
I don't know if it's blurry or if that's my eyes that are blurry, but we definitely got the point.
Yeah.
The photo's definitely a little bit blurry on my end as well. So.
Okay.
Yep.
But it works.
So rough tooth aren't the ones that you normally see. Clearwater, like I said, had one because of a stranding deemed unreleasable, and so they were the home of a rough-toothed dolphin as well. So now they have the other 4, and Marineland now has 4 of the bottlenose dolphins, and Dolphin Connection, another great habitat. They have 3 more.
All right, so, I can tell you right now. I mean, you were a dolphin trainer, so you knew all the different.
Yeah.
I thought there was like 2 or 3.
So
there's like 12.
There's more than that. I mean, that doesn't include orcas. Orcas are the largest dolphin. We call them killer whales, but they're not. They're actually dolphins.
Because they have dorsal.
Other reasons too. Yeah. So dolphins
regular whales don't have dorsal fins, do they?
Well, there's baleen whales. Those are filter feeders. They don't have teeth. They have these baleen plates, and they kind of gulp feed. Then you have toothed whales. Dolphins are on a subcategory of toothed whales, if I remember correctly. Okay. But they're a smaller set of toothed whales.
Okay. But an orca is not a whale.
An orca is not a whale, it's a dolphin.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Little pop quiz on my cetacean biology back from the day.
Yeah.
It still cracks me up that that Marineland has a .net website. That's such a time period where you had the .nets and the .orgs.
they came around in the 30s. They're still boomers.
Yeah, so. They've got a little boomer throwback website. Spoiler alert, I am taking my kids to Marineland on Monday, so I'm super excited. I hope I get a chance to meet these new Sandy, Soleil, Capri, and Comet.
And Luna?
Luna, Cajun, and Striker are at Dolphin Connection. So I'm not going to Duck Key, but I will get a chance to hopefully spy Sandy, Soleil, Capri, and Comet. I kind of accidentally planned my trip for the 87th anniversary of Marineland's existence.
Kind of accidentally?
Accidentally. It, maybe subconsciously, because I had that date in my head for so long, and it just worked with our schedule for Monday, and my friend was like, oh, that's the 87th anniversary, so it's my day off, but I might still be there. So hopefully I get a chance to get some cool videos and some cool pictures for you guys of those new animals. I'll do my best to awesome. Get that. Troy, how do we want to check the comments?
On this wild Wednesday, I will wind my way through the willfully through the wondrous waking world of our watchers. And I wrote that down wrong, Bobby, so that was not your fault.
Did you say wind or wang?
Wind, wild,
All right, that wild wind is brought to you by BNS Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to BNS Signs, proudly family owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast and responsive service that keeps your sign looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with BNS Signs. Visit bnssigns.com because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Also brought to you by St. Augustine Handy House. Need a custom or prefab portable building that's built to last? Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprises and serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds to barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building comes with free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy financing options to fit your budget. Visit them on State Road 16, open Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092, St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience. Give us that comments report, Troy.
All right. In the comments, Teletubbies and SpongeBob seem to be the leading awful ones that are out there.
SpongeBob's terrible.
Yeah, SpongeBob's still a part of our life. And Wawa was at $3.19. Costco's up a little bit to $2.71, not as much as Wawa. The BP in the South there is at $3.14. Thank you, Ann, for the stars.
We love the stars. Thank you.
and some people actually agree with me on the drop-off center. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So there's a lot of great comments in today. So if you get a chance to go back and read them, it's some wonderful discussion there.
Thank you guys for all those comments. We love that. Do we have a Stoidum stat?
The minions were on the move today.
We love minions.
All right. Stoidum stat today, 1983. On this day in 1983, Sally Ride becomes the first American woman in space.
Nice.
She is a tech. She's the expert running the arm of the Challenger. But here's the sad part about this. And Sally Ride, she was an excellent tennis player. She didn't make it as a tennis player. She had her master's degree from Stanford. It's an extremely brilliant woman. She beat out like 3,000 other women for this opportunity. But it was 20 years earlier, in 1963, when the Russians, the Soviet Union, put the first woman in space. 20 years. It took. We lost that space race, by the way.
That one
that one we lost.
Here's the question: did she come back though? Because the Russians
true.
had a tendency to send and leave.
Well, that was part of it. Sputnik never really made it back. Yeah, so they don't tell you that part.
That poor dog.
Yeah. Well, there were several.
Yeah.
There was several different Sputs.
Sputs.
Yeah. So, and I don't think our monkey made it back. The first one. I don't think so.
Well, fact check.
That's stuff they don't tell you in history. And now we ended. I thought it was going to end on a bright note, but now we ended on a dark note. So
sadness. Here's your bright spot, though. You can get lunch at St. Augie's Pizza. It's delicious. They also sponsor our Stoidum stat. So if you need to drown your worries about all the animals sent to space, go to downtown St. Augustine, the corner of Riberia and MLK. Get yourself a slice today. Do we have plugs, Troy?
We do have plugs tonight on Bollocks. We have the wonderful Cindy Stabley coming in and talking about the Pirate Museum, the Colonial Oak, and all the amazing stuff she does and her team does for downtown St. Augustine. Super excited about that interview. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the interview last night with Epic and Big Brothers Big Sisters, Teresa did an amazing job and knocked it out of the park.
Teresa's always fantastic. So, I have a plug today. I want to say congratulations to Sailbird Distilling. They're going to open a new location at 35 San Marco Ave in Uptown St. Augustine. So they're going to keep their West Augustine location. That's going to stay. But they're moving in to this new location on San Marco. So they're going to have 2 locations. Super proud of them. They are a micro distillery. So it's the smallest distillery in St. Augustine. They offer vodka, gin, whiskey, rum, liqueurs. Friends of mine own it. I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations, Susan and Brian. That's awesome.
It's not the size of the distillery that matters.
I know. It's the tastiness of the spirits.
Exactly.
Blake, do you have any plugs?
No plugs for me today, unfortunately.
All right. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all of the things, YouTube, Rumble. Bye, guys. Bye. Tonight.